Are you a coder who gets rejected based on no practical experience or because others have a strong LinkedIn personal brand and you don't? Your coaching institute will hate me for doing this, but I welcome you to Code to Career 30 days challenge where I have chosen these 5 total strangers out of my LinkedIn contacts and have taken up the challenge to help them go from jobless or underpaid to well paid job, that too without additional degrees and certifications in the next 30 days. If you are a coder and wants to get a well paid job, this is your golden chance to experience real project implementation from scratch that gets you a well paid job and builds your LinkedIn personal brand and also resume for absolutely free. So why just watch? Get into our WhatsApp community to experience this. Link is in the description. Now let's get started. Okay, good evening everyone. Today we will go in a manner that people who have done use case diagram and sequence diagram, I enabled share with everyone, so you can share your screen and show if you have done that. That would be a very good start for others also to follow, because you already have a discussion yesterday evening and you got a fair amount of idea thanks to Priyanka, that she's spending her time to help you understand few things. Post that, we will dig deep in code only. How many days are left to code, test, debug and test? Do you know? How many days? How many days do you think?
14 to 15 days.
Huh?
Only
14
14
to
to
15.
15. Yeah. I
Okay.
think the next to next Monday we have the final, right?
Yeah, in between you have other activities like you need to post and your resume also has to be done, your LinkedIn has to be done. It can't be that you cook the food and then somebody plasters your mouth, right? So you have the project, then you need to showcase it to people and get the return on investment, which is what you will get when you go and post on LinkedIn and talk about it. Talk more on LinkedIn is what the very simple mantra. Yeah, you need to do it more and more and more. Anybody who is willing to share the screen and show the use case diagram and sequence diagram now?
I can do that if you
Yes,
want
you
me
have the
to do.
permission. You can share.
Okay, I'll do that. Let me know once my screen is visible.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I made some modifications in my diagrams as per
Hmm.
the last comments which you gave.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this is the use case diagram. So I have two actors now, considering one as a end user and the other one as a developer in the system.
Okay.
Yeah. So for end user, I have kept the login into the system and use help and other registered command, which is already, which will be already given to them by the through user manual or something, which they can use. And for developer, it will be register a command and process those registered command.
Hmm.
For sequence diagram, I have had this one is for the help command. So the first one is the help command submitted. It will go to the CLI and CLI will invoke that help command. This is the help all command, and the list of all the commands will be displayed. If user submits help for a particular registered command, then CLI will invoke the details of that particular help registered command. Let us suppose I have get valve output, set valve output, and get PCB temperature. So if user submits help for any of these three commands, their list of details will be displayed to the user.
Okay. Can you go up a little bit once let user CLI help command submitted.
Do you
Okay.
want me to zoom in?
No, not necessary. But
Okay.
here the user getting into the system is already taken care. You mean to say that he already logged into the system and he is now allowed to do this operation, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So now here is the thing. Uh, can you go to the use case diagram?
Yes.
Yeah. See that Priyanka already had a use case. She did a use case saying that login into the system, use help and other register command. Now use help and other register command and process the register command. Actually, they are same. Like
Yeah.
when you give a
So
string, what actually happens? It gets
yeah,
processed, right?
yeah, that's same. But if you see from a developer's perspective, then it is processing. But if you see from an end user perspective, it is using that command.
How does it matter? See, either I send help or I say set value. For me, the entry point, for example, if I have an ATM card, I go to ICICI Bank ATM or Axis Bank ATM. It doesn't matter, right? Some things will have the slot at left side, some on the right side, whatever the design. But it is very evident from the fact that there is a slot in which the ATM card has to be placed and it gets locked till and then the transaction starts. Okay, now one more thing here. It is a discussion that we had earlier also. That time our requirements were not really concrete, they were not crystallized. So we thought that, and we were discussing also, saying that, okay, is it that the person has to really log in into the system to get the help command? That time we had a split idea, saying that, oh, okay, let the user log in and then even invoke the help. But we also had the second thought saying that, what if even without logging, at least he or she should be able to see the list of commands. Then he will log in or she will log in if that requirement is fine. What are the pros and cons? We don't know. The point I'm trying to make here is requirements are always like that. Are you able to understand?
Yeah.
Same operation, but how do I put it on the timeline? If I don't consider the timeline placement during my requirement analysis, and this is where during requirements analysis, right, you get in touch with so many stakeholders, the people who are the end users, or or some end users in the sense the client may say that, oh no, I don't want person to someone to actually log in into my system. I mean, I don't want the user to really get the help details without actually logging in. Maybe that's a client's requirement. Most of the time, what happens is the client, whatever he says, if it is logical, doable, supersedes technical decisions. And that is the reason why most of the cases, the developers struggle so much by lifting heavy load in the software by taking consideration of many things, that logic, this logic, just because the user requirement happens to be so complex. To put it in much more appropriate words, the user requirement happens to be actually a convenience factor for the user or the client. But to achieve that convenience and that very simplified way of interacting with the system or doing something with the system requires so much of effort from the coding front. This is always, in my experience, I have seen it multiple number of times. The code the developer really does lot of work just to ensure that the usage of the system or the requirement is satisfied, so that the end user or the client really feels that the requirement is now complete and simple enough to use. Any wrong step here, now you see the snowball effect. After requirement phase, people did not catch this, or they did not meet maybe some stakeholder, and this information is not documented whatsoever is the reason. The next stage goes into sequence diagram, and this happens in a very distributed environment. You need to also understand that we here are 4 to 5 people, and even I am not doing anything. I'm only giving you certain idea. We don't have a real client. We don't know really what it is and all those things. We are able to, still then we are able to discuss a lot about it. Imagine a real project where people are scattered across geographies, different time zones, different parts of the same project, hardware, software, this, that, GUI, supplier. Can you see the complexity? Now help me understand. If the system is complex and is going to be deployed, and that is going to generate a lot of income for the client once the system goes online, right? For people purchasing product or something. The client is aware that to get that kind of system, he or she should be ready to spend some good amount of money. Yes. And some companies have a reputation of giving good products, good service, and all those things. So these things, instead of scaring, should be your motivation factors. That if you are good with analyzing these kind of things, imagine that you are in a team which analyzes these kind of crucial aspects, and you are one among them. Do you even think what it means to your career? Can somebody unmute and tell what it really means to your career to be in a team which takes these kind of complex projects and generate or develop software for it in a very systematic way? What are the thoughts coming in your mind?
Sir, I think I don't know about experienced persons, but I have visited and talked to my the teammates who was in my training, and even I have discussed about all those things. They are telling me that they are going with some kind of the projects which they have already done. So I asked them about the approach through which they are doing by using the use case and test case. They are telling me they are not they are not in the real project, so they are not going with any kind of approach. They are simply taking some Bluetooth model, Wi-Fi model, and they are doing it. Just simply they are doing it. If a person like me, if started thinking and doing in this in this manner or in this format, then definitely the outcome will be much better, accurate, and maybe um, I have a chance of standing in front of experienced people. I'm not saying that I am equivalent to them, but somehow I can also, find my place in their space.
You want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one on one call with me. Link is in the description. Let me tell you, you will be miles ahead of people who are experienced also. 80 to 90% of people are doing projects which are maintenance projects with small increments and few features getting added on top of the thing because hardware changes, something extra changes, and some technology improves and all those things. The incremental development happens because the software is modular and all those things. But this process will put you on a very strong platform that you can negotiate your value to the maximum extent, and companies would be ready to pay. Yeah. So here are two motivational factors I want to give before we proceed further. I know this is a little bit of digression, but Because a situation has come, I'm saying this. Do not focus on the objective or your destination. Focus on the things that are needed to get there. You don't, you want to go to your hometown within certain period of time. So the focus is never on the going aspect of going to hometown. Now the focus is on purchasing or taking that kind of transportation which will take you faster there. So if you focus on the things that will take you to the goal, you need to improve those things. That's what is the whole system today I was talking about in my LinkedIn post. That you need to focus on the system. And I'm actually putting you in a system of getting that consistency and doing it every day. I know very much at the beginning that this is not something you are used to. Neither was I when I started. Yeah. And if you are not failing in this process, you are not learning. Somebody who gets the result just like that, right, will not learn. The moment you fail, you will think that, Array, why did I fail? Where is the correction factor? What should I learn? And I'll give a very small example in my life. When I joined in my first company in Wipro, right? I was standing for lunch. It's a queue, and I was supposed to take the token. And this person who was saying that he was talking about the big things about embedded system and all those things. I don't know. I don't know that he's the one who is going to take my interview for one of the clients. I just overheard him, and I was sitting like that, and he took the lunch and everything done. When I entered the room, it was he actually sitting. Then he asked, he saw my resume and all those things, and he told, okay, what did you do and all those things. Then I was talking about the simple switch and interrupt and all those things. He was so curious to understand, hey, does it really happen like that? That on the hardware pin that a pulse comes and all those things. Now it was a shock of my lifetime. That person was talking so much about embedded system and he doesn't know that pressing a switch, debouncing a switch, he is not aware of all those things. The reason, he is from the campus placement, and he got into a project where the product is already done and he was working on one component and a little bit of RTOS task and other things. You understand? People who fail, they have an opportunity to learn more. So fail often. Yeah. So this requirement, now you need to brainstorm and see that, do we really need to have a help command at the beginning to allow user just to know the series of or the list of help commands that are supported, or even put a restriction for the user saying that, no, you enter user ID and password. So today morning when I was discussing with one of my friends, he just told that stick to the first one, stick to the second one, wherein whenever you see some console or something, the first obvious keyword would be enter the user ID. Anywhere you enter into a portal, your Gmail or anything, the first option that is thrown on us on the screen is enter your user ID and password, right? So he told me that give that. Software wise, in this kind of system, you can give a provision of going to the help, but it's a confusion because it's not following the trend that people normally accept. So his suggestion was that stick to the process which is widely accepted. So we will have a separate use case which says that login into the system. And for this project, this is an enhancement. Okay. We are not going to do it. We will do it once our regular direct without any restriction access we do help or whatever, and we start getting the results right. Then we will go and add the user ID and password mechanism. Clear? If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description. Yeah, Priyanka, please go ahead. So now a small change is now needed in your use case diagram. Yeah, it is going to split and the help command and other thing will not be there. Clear?
Only the process and process the registered command will be there.
Registration command is a one use case. We can split it and put to register command and process command. If they are both in the same thing, it is fine. Login, I would say put it as a separate thing because it will come at a later point of time. So registering a
Okay,
command
so
and processing command covers even the separate case of help command. Just that the help command doesn't need to interact with the application logic, which is understood. So maybe in your use case diagram, on the right hand side also for this kind of process command, you can say that there is an interaction with the backend logic. So you can have that.
okay.
You have a boundary and you can have two actors on the either side of the boundary. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let us
Okay,
go
I'll
further.
like that. So I explained the help command.
Yes. Yeah,
This
here
is
you
the
need to
process
make it,
command,
you need to
but
make it,
I'll first
you will
go
need
to
to
the register.
zoom out a little bit.
Yeah, I will first go to the register command. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
then we will go to the process command. So for register command, we have three objects: so developer, CLI, and application. So first, the register command goes with its arguments, and CLI add those command in the structure, and
Mm-hmm.
we receive that function pointer for that specific functionality from the application. So I have used three commands, and for three commands, this process will be same.
Okay.
Yeah.
One question here.
And yeah.
What are those parameters? Register value, get value output, comma 1. What does it mean?
Yeah, so one is the expected number of parameters.
Uh-huh.
So I also have one doubt here, which I
Mm.
wanted to clarify with you. So let us suppose user is entering the get command. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So get there will be no value, only the particular command. So this get plus the parameter valve output. So will that be considered as a parameter or a command itself?
Good question. I will add some more confusion now to your mind. What if when the user is trying to get some value? Yeah. Here you are saying that get valve output. Now the valve output could be either it is open or close or certain other parameter. What if there are multiple outputs for the same command? How are you going to handle it? Now the expectation is
Multiple
that
output for same command. I mean, you mean get valve output or get?
in any get is the command. Here you are saying that valve output is the one of the parameters.
Yes. I mean, that's
Now,
what my understanding is.
yeah, one of the parameters you are passing. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe a comma after the get would have been more clear. Okay, because
Yeah.
you already push them both together, saying that okay, for a person who is seeing the string, it is fine. But as a parameter, I need to have certain demarcation there that there is a comma and it is a get command and valve output and other things. Now my question is to the on top of what you are saying, you have sent one parameter and you are saying that oh my that one parameter Vamsi, you know what it is valve output. Yes, I understand. Now you are saying get, and the expectation here is that after execution of this get operation, there is certain output.
Yeah.
Now how will that output be returned to the user?
Application will return some int or float value.
Correct. Where is it put? Application will give. Somewhere I have to hold it, right? I need to have a memory location. And
Yeah.
application won't provide me memory. I should give the memory, right?
Yeah.
So consider that point. And the second point is, what if the amount of output is more than you are expecting? Now valve output could be some number, let us say within 255.
Yeah.
which is good enough for a byte.
Yeah.
1 second. Yes. Now the point is, what if the amount of output is more than 255? Like it wants
I
to,
will have a
you're getting my point?
my yeah. So my data type which is holding that value will be accordingly.
Yeah. Let us say it is series of values that are 4 to 5 values. So you can't overwrite. What will you do now? Let us say I want to get list of files, which is a very simple example. There is a file system. I say that, okay, dir. Then it is not one file. I will go through the file system in that particular directory and keep on retrieving the file names.
Yeah, then I need some pointer array in that case.
How big will be your array? I don't know. If there are 20 files and you pass an array with only 10, what will you do with that? In a single shot, you got the output, fine. But there are still applications saying, shouting, saying that, hey, Priyanka, wait. I have 10 more to give you. What will you do? Think about it.
Yeah, I got really confused now.
So she
What is
have
the
to free the
confusion?
memory. So
Huh?
she have to free the memory for
Yes, she has to free the memory. But before that, the 10 has to be consumed and then the user or the CLI infra should know that there are 10 more pending, right? Beforehand, how will CLI infrastructure know that there are 20? User, see, user in the regular operation of the system would have created 20 or 25 files. And then on one fine day, the admin or somebody will come to the system and say that dir. And his expectation or her expectation is that whichever are the files that are already created and resident in the system, I want to get the list of all. Now, neither the CLI infra know that there are 25 files because CLI infra can't keep a tab on how many files are getting created, right? That is too much for it. You got my point? See, the security person who is allowing people, he can't remember. So he has to somewhere ask person to sign plus 4 plus 3. We saw it, right? We know that when somebody is entering an apartment, they will say that, oh, the main guest plus 4 people. Getting my point? So somewhere some mechanism has to be there where the CLI infrastructure also need to know. But now, in this case, I cannot keep a tab of, oh, how many times the file is created, how many files the file is getting created. It's way too much. But there should be another smarter way of doing these kind of things where the output is more than what the memory size I send to the CLI infra to accommodate. There should be some multiple iterations of getting the output, which the CLI has to take care. Even application is not worried about it. Even the user is not worried about it. CLI infra has to have that saying that, oh, okay, there are more input. Yes, information will be given by application. Application will say that CLI infra, I have 25 files. But infra doesn't know. It has a standard memory allocated to get 10 file names. But somehow it should understand with the communication between itself and application that 15 more files are pending, the names of those. First it gives 10 one batch, then it again goes back, get another 10, gives it to the user on the console or somewhere, again goes back, takes 5 and again gives it. Now the question is, this intelligence, how are you going to split it between the user? Sorry, how are you going to split it between the CLI infra and the application logic is something now as a developer you have to think. Now, is this clear, Priyanka? Sheikh? Is this now making sense to everyone? Because this is a very common use case. Till now, we have been looking at the case wherein I ask this, you give me. You're getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, think about these things also. These things will take time, but I'm giving you certain two other adjacent or probable extensions of the code that you are going to write. And why is this important now? You write some piece of code where some things are hard coded. And when these kind of requirements now come, you hard code something, you do something, it is working fine, it went into the market and people are using it. But then these kind of requirements come. Now you can't do these changes because you want to address these requirements. And these things ultimately end up breaking the older thing which is already working fine. When I say breaking, it's not breaking. You finally thought of some logic. Oh, okay, I will do this, and all those things. But your previous code was so rigid with hard coding and all those things that you have to rewrite so much of the things. You're getting my point? Which may now what it means is that you have to test the previous test cases, ensure that when this goes into the market, when the equipment is completely being replaced with the new one in the customer premises, the old ones with which the user was already happy with, you already changed the code in your office. Now you are deploying the new device. User will think that, oh, my old functionality is intact. Maybe my new functionality may have some problem. But because of your testing and other things, which might not go well, coding issues and all those things, you cannot create a harm or disruption to the previously working functionality. Client will not allow that to happen. It's a question of reputation and many things are at stake, right? Making sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So the ramifications of some decision not being taken is sometimes very huge to the level of losing the reputation also, losing a client because the stakes are so high, because the things are sometimes so complex. There's no wonder there's a lot of stress and other things in IT jobs, and no wonder that people are paid good money. If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one on one call with me. Link is in the description. Yeah. So let's go with the next thing. Register command, I understand. Now let's go to the third sequence diagram.
Yeah,
This
so
is
this is
submittal. Yeah.
process command.
This is
This
process
is
command. Yeah.
process command. So user will submit the command as get valve output,
Mm-hmm.
and CLI will pass that to application as process this command, and application will return the valve output value, and CLI will pass on that to user.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, one more thing here. See, if you see
Okay.
her diagram, after CLI, she has put an arrow saying that process command get valve output. Again, back to the application. Application would have already registered the callback. So there is one thing here, and this is mainly has to deal with documentation. And if you see one of the requirements also, I mentioned that there has to be good documentation. Now, why is it important? Let me throw some light on that. Can you go up a little bit, Priyanka, in your sheet? Okay, this is help command. Yeah, the first diagram is help command. Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
Now the second diagram, come down. This is process sequence diagram, right?
Yes.
Now come down. This is the registration.
Yeah.
Now, if you would have pushed the registration top and then the process, then it makes when the person is reading that, oh, okay, the callback function is already registered with the CLI infra, so that when you put the process command where you have drawn an arrow from the CLI to the application makes more meaning. Do you agree?
Yeah, actually, this is not in a proper documentation ordered way.
Yeah,
I
that's what
still
I'm.
have to
So,
write
so
for
if you would
this.
have put
Yeah,
this one at the top, the user
yeah,
would
I
have
understand.
already understood. The reader of this document, the high level, this low level, this is a low level design document. These are the elements
Yeah,
of low level design document, right? He will
yeah,
understand that, acha, the application logic actually registers a function so that when the process command comes, that particular function gets called. There,
yeah.
the thick arrow that you are drawn from the CLI infra to the application makes more sense.
Yes, agree.
Okay. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
come down. Let's come down and anything
I
more?
think we are done. No, this is the help command. I think again it got copied here. I have made for the login also, but I think I forgot to add the screenshot here. I have made the
So
similar one for login.
login and also the case of multiple outputs for the same command are enhancements.
Yeah, these are enhancement, but just I think like for me, logging part was making more sense in a sequential way I was going. That's
Yeah,
why I added.
it has to be in the sequence. I'm not denying that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And even processing command, if you see multiple output of a command being split across multiple messages is also a processing command. But it is
yes,
just that how many iterations do you need to take, or the CLI infrastructure has to take to give the output? It's not known beforehand. We send a fixed amount of memory expecting that this is the output and the output is sufficient or is of enough quantity that will fit in my memory. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. When it is no and we still have output, what are you going to do? Your logic or your code inside process command should be able to handle this. And it cannot do alone by itself. It definitely needs from the application, because application is the person who holds those 25 elements. CLI infra is only a mediator who is going to give 10 plus 10 plus 5. But the real data of or the understanding of 25 entries for file number of files is actually resident with the application. So there has to be a proper understanding between CLI infra and the application where they shake hands to ensure that all the 25 items gets delivered to the user. And the user is not at all concerned. User will just say dir, done. Making sense?
yes.
Yeah. This is cherry on the cake. This requirement is cherry on the cake. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Are you people are saying, hey, look, Priyanka is our heroine. If she shows, it means we all are done. It happens, right, in school. Do you want to play? No, 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 no. He will play, I will clap. No, no, don't do that. Princey, Ajay, Abdul.
Yes, sir. Can I share, sir?
Yeah, you have permission. You can share, yes.
Yeah. So yes, sir. Here I have considered only one user. I mean, haven't think as you mentioned. I haven't thought about that registration part. So the user here have three cases like where he can register and help he can use help command, and another one is he can process the command. So I have segregated that one because here this is with respect to CLI will interact with that separate application, right? So here some function pointer will be called and it will interact with that embedded application. So I have given some separate command related function execution for that one.
Yeah, this is making sense. Just that the embedded application is not a box, it has to be another actor. Okay.
Oh, okay, sir.
Yeah, come down.
And here the registration of the commands. So initially some command will be registered and it will have some standard number of parameters like arguments, like some command name and a help description and a parameter number and some address function. So I thought like it will be like some kind of vector table similar thing where I will have the details of all the functions which is specific for this application. I will have the function pointer details. So I will pass the detail of the address here. That's what I thought earlier.
No, your thought is correct. The only point is it's not address function, it's a you just send a pointer. So you
Yeah.
are declaring a function pointer and you declare a pointer to a function of so and so type. The subsequent population of that pointer with a particular address can only happen if the function with whose address is being copied into that pointer also adheres to that signature.
Yeah.
So that is understood. You understood, you got what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, yes.
So saying that pointer to a function is sufficient enough. It is understood that tomorrow whichever is the function whose address will be into that pointer will header to that signature. So that is understood. Otherwise, it will not go even further. So from application, there has to be certain interaction now where it provides that pointer. So that connection is missing. Now display status. Why display status?
Like whether the command is registered or not. I thought like, yeah, that one, sir. Like whether it's like sometimes we might have only some standard number of commands, like we have only 5 means. If we are entering some 6 commandments, it will not be entered in that, right? So
yeah,
it would be, I thought it would be good to display the user with some status, like whether it is registration is successful or not.
Okay. And why did you break that vertical bar? If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well-paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description.
No, sir. Actually, it was like this. I think I haven't extended it. Sir.
Okay.
And
because that also
I
means
have a doubt, Vamsi.
Yeah.
So for registering a command, developer is the actor, right? So we don't need this display status part. It's not going to be displayed on the console, right?
That was exactly what
You are
I
developing
told.
it.
But I consider that one very remote case wherein I think it's not a remote case also. As a part of unit testing, I will do a test of giving more commands and then I exceed the memory allocation that has been done, saying that I can't go beyond 5 commands, and as a testing I gave the 6th command. Then I need to get an error string. Yes, it has nothing to do with the user because the user is already having a document and he cannot use any commands beyond that. He has to play within that. But as a tester, as a developer, can I go and do it? This is not going anywhere out, but it is to ensure that if I am using an array, to ensure that I am not going beyond the array bounds. Yeah.
Okay, but it might like me and you know that this is the case that we are going to use it for test case. But if you give it to someone else who does not know that you are going to use it for test case, so he or she might think that this is a user-defined command you are talking about, not the command registration from a developer's perspective.
Yeah, that's why documentation is important, and this documentation is for internal purpose only. It's not for outside people. Outside people have an entirely different thing. Outside people even don't care whether you have used UML to create this thing or not. He just need was tell me what commands to write, what can I do with the system. This is internal thing only. And these all have to be documented. So that's where documentation plays very important role. Otherwise, what would happen? Going by your case, these things are not documented. Somebody will start doing it. Then the tester will find that, oh, I'm trying to do this error comes. Then the developer will scratch the head, go and start looking at the code and says that, array, there is a configuration limit, boss. So essentially, it happens many times in companies that people discover, rediscover, rediscover for the things that are supposed to be captured in a document that everyone reads once and then they freeze it in cold, in rock. You got my point? Unfortunately, companies don't operate in this way. Few companies operate, yes, which means that they are adhering to good coding guidelines and process and all those things. You got it? Okay, next.
So similarly for help commands, when the user is passing the help command, it will be added into that structure, and then it will display the help command details.
Correct. But where is the command string? You have to send the command string also, not command name as HELP. You getting my point? There has to be a parameter.
Okay, yeah, okay, sir.
There has to be a parameter, and there, see, the structure of every command is same. Some elements or some members of the structure gets populated, some don't, depending on the type of command. Think to that level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a big pitfall. I have observed many of my junior developers, they start feeling a vibe and understanding with these kind of things. And it is drawing pictures, right? Everybody finds nice to draw pictures. The child in us comes and we start drawing pictures. Oh, use case, this, that, and all those things. But the thought process because of which these pictures are taking birth, right? It should be really, really to a level wherein these kind of things are taken care. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Display help command. Okay, understood. This is what execution of the command. Command
Yeah.
get ph. Yeah, now this makes sense because the registration already happened. Now you got command execution, then find command output, display command status. Yeah, this command output from user dotted line, maybe it is fine is what I am thinking. What do you think, Priyanka? Because the function pointer is already registered with the application. So it's the application only which has to give the output. So I think, yeah, it makes sense. Command get temp, same thing you followed 3 times, you copied. Set value, command set value, command out, some response. Okay, come down. That's it,
Yeah.
I think, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, this is fine. This is making sense. Yeah, because it aligns with the thing. Anyone else? If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one on one call with me. Link is in the description. Shake.
Sir, I draw in notebook. Like I didn't draw in this one. I'll draw and share, sir, in WhatsApp.
Okay, fine. Princey, Shake.
I have little bit confusion so that I have didn't gone into much, sir. Today I will do, sir, by seeing all those things. I think today till night or at morning 8 or 9 I will complete and put in the group directly
Okay.
because I have some doubt related to the application, what it is happening now. By seeing that I am a little bit satisfied with that. Sir, one more thing is that
Hmm.
Here example, you are saying that in a directory, we have, for example, we are giving a command. For example, like ls command. If the directory have 25 commands, 25 files, it will show 25 files list. If
Hmm.
it has 5, it will show that also.
Hmm.
And just like that, if there is a command which taking n number of input, then that is also be a case like I don't know exactly.
No, I understand your point. That's where the number of parameters also comes into picture. You see the number of parameters, expected parameters. You cannot go beyond expected parameters. I'll give a very simple example. Let us say you are sent to market to buy the ration, okay? Then amount of money given by your parents is fixed, but the list of items can always vary. Sometimes the cheap item, the quantity of the cheap item can be more. Let us say it's a season for tomatoes. Now you go and you say that, okay, what's the price of these things? And the person says that, oh, this is so much. Then you called your parents or you took a decision saying that, oh, okay, it's getting, so let me buy 1 or 2 kgs more. But you carry only 1 kg bag. You thought that I will I will take vegetables of this quantity. But now the amount of purchase that you have made with respect to tomatoes alone is now 3 to 4 kgs. You made the purchase. Then it happens many times that you keep it here. I will go to my home and I will bring it. Your money did not change. Nothing changed, right? It's just that you traveled multiple number of times to take the thing. Let us say you have now to really bring the example more clear to in our case. Let us assume that you have only 1 kg bag. So you need to make those many number of movements or excursions that, oh, now 1 kg, now the second kg, now the third kg. Yeah,
Iteration, number of
till
iteration.
you are done with the amount of quantity that you purchased. Neither the money changed nor the amount of memory changed. Here, in the sense, the bag does not change and the money does not change. So the command will not change, and the memory you want to use to bring the output from application logic did not change. The application logic or the result is big in number. But what did you do now? You traveled multiple number of times, right? You walked from your home to the shop, again back and forth. So you have to do that. Make sense?
Okay, sir. So the user can give a can register a command in which he can ask for only to show me this only one file out of 25 file in the directory. Only show me
No,
one.
no, you did not get. What I am saying is the number of parameters and the command name, they don't change. It is fixed. The output can change, is what I'm saying. The number of parameters of the command and the buffer that you pass to the application logic to collect the output, they remain same. The size of the output can change, is what I am saying. Okay?
Yes, sir.
See, now I believe you people would have got now a fair amount of understanding. Typically, this kind of understanding will be, we would have reached very quickly if directly from the requirement stage, I mean to say the document, and properly playing the role plays when if we would have done with CRC card, these all things would have eventually surfaced. Agree? But because we are going in a staggered way, people are learning, we are taking iterations. But understand that this is a process. Don't stress out too much. Don't be too critical of yourself, saying that, oh, I am not able to do, she is able to do. And Priyanka also might be thinking, Arey, I thought so much about it. Because of this fellow, past 2 nights, I could not even sleep about these things. And I thought so much. And finally, I got it. Still, then he's saying, this is not right, that is not right. This is part of process. It takes time. This takes so much of time sometimes that you go through it, but you come out with a very good sequence diagram followed by other kind of diagrams, that when you actually get into the coding, right, things will be very, very easy. Everybody will be on the same page. Everybody will deliver the right things. Testers also will understand what to do, what not to do, all those things. You understand this? So don't stress out too much. Accept this as the process, as a learning. The point always remains same. You need to put in that massive action, immediate massive action. Don't be complacent with the fact that, hey, now I heard. I know. Okay, I understand now. It will never work. Yeah. Watch the recording multiple number of times. Do pen and paper work. Then get onto the software and try to do the best thing.
Sir, after use case, it is necessary to do CRC before going for sequential diagram. After use cases, it is necessary, or we can skip and go for directly for sequential diagram.
You have to do the CRC card technique. Otherwise, how will you come out with the function names, the parameters, and all those things? Without doing the role play, you can, which means from use case, you are jumping to sequence diagram. It means you already have visualized the thing in your mind, which is a very rare occurrence. And using that CRC card technique only when you are playing with all these things, the inner, or I should say, the implicit things that you think will actually come out, and somebody will correct saying that, for example, let us say you tell to application, okay, application, give me this output. Then the application person will say, okay, I'll give you. What if I have more output? You say to application saying that, take this memory, give me the output. Application will say, okay, I'll give you, but I have more output with me. What should I do now? You're getting my point? That role play has to be played.
Yeah, sir.
Where the application will say that I have more output. What is the solution for this? Then you will brainstorm. Making sense?
Yeah, sir. It need to complete until it will be end. Like a 1 to 25, that it will need to go till it becomes 0 from 1 to 25.
Yeah. Until the task is done, ideally, right?
Yeah, sir. As you told that one dot has been arrived, that you told, no, sir, that we have created something before. It should not be get disrupted by the thing which we going to create in future. Later on the part which
Correct.
we creating. So if, for example, I'm saying that I'm not mixing two things. For example, the user has created two commands that are different. First command is saying to print, give me all the files which are there in the directory. And at a time, at an instant, we can give him only one file name, like one.txt or something. So we are created a first command that it is printing one after the other, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till 25 txt. And next time the user has given a command that no, I want only two files or one file at a time. So this command should not, get interrupted with the first command.
Yeah,
So
it has
thus,
to be a second command, or you can handle it in the same command. These are all the implementation choices, and these are all the discussions and conversations that should happen during CRC card phase only and should be sorted out. Yeah.
yeah, sir, but this dot regarding CRC scheme, because there are mainly we are consist of structure, no. So I'm thinking that putting data types and other functions, it will be good or not, or directly we should go. Now I understood, sir. We can use variables, data type, and data type and functions name also instead of structures. Are the classes there?
Yeah. Eventually they will come out, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Okay, great. Any more questions? Else we will conclude the call. I actually thought of showing the structure and something in the header file, but now I see that you people are actually in a good shape. Like Abdul got a decent amount of diagrams drawn, and Priyanka has done that. A lot of refinement has happened. People are now able to appreciate and understand what it is. So here is what is my suggestion. I do not know how you will manage early in the morning, late at night tomorrow, whatever. If you people can get on to another meeting tomorrow after LinkedIn and resume class, get on to meeting and try to do something. By Wednesday class, it will make lot of impact and lot of sense to other people who are still trailing when they see the code. In fact, you should develop the code, but I'm going to show you the initial header file so that you implement the functionality, the infrastructure of what it is, how it is. Yeah, some kickstart. But I don't want anyone to be left behind. To implement the register function and other things, yes, it depends on their understanding, on their C competency, which I strongly say that you don't have to help them there. But to bring them onto the same level, I think you all have to work as a team. And this is also my effort to teach people who are still not part of any company to understand that teamwork plays. It's not always about me, it's always about we and us. Yeah. Once everything is sorted out, you are given a task, you go to your desktop and you create magic there. But till then, understand that you are part of a team. And I'm happy to see that you are actually living up to that spirit. So I'm giving one more day for you to brainstorm, finalize something so that in the next class you see the complete header file and I will tell you what all it is and other things. In Wednesday, then Friday class, people can start showing their code so that we can go through the coding guidelines, the way the code was written and all those things. Yeah. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay
sir.
then. Yeah. See you all tomorrow at 9 p.m. then. Bye. Good night.
Bye, sir.
10 p.m.
Yeah.